What's up, guys? Right after doing our winners and losers video of the 2022 free agency, we have a big trade to announce. So, John Marino of the Pittsburgh Penguins heads to the New Jersey Devils, and New Jersey requires Ty Smith and a 2023 third round pick. Well, guys, I know what you guys are thinking that Ty Smith has more upside. Than John Marino, but we also have to think about the other things, including this deal, which is the contracts. So, in terms of cap space, obviously. So, Ty Smith is getting paid $863,000 for one more year. So, he has one season left. So, the 2022-2023 season would be his last. He is an RFA after that. So, Pittsburgh would have to sign him. And on John Marino's end, he has 5 years left. He signed a 6-year deal last year with the Pittsburgh Penguins. So he has 5 years left. He's getting paid $4.4 million. So up until the right after the 2026-2027 season, he's going to be a UFA. So, Chris, what are your thoughts on this deal?
Well, the Devils. They trade away a younger guy essentially. To be honest, I think Pittsburgh kind of wins this deal if they manage to sign Ty Smith. But I'm gonna just share some stats with you guys here. Um, so this season he played 66 games. Ty Smith with the New Jersey Devils. He's got 5 goals, 15 assists for 20 points, plus minus of minus 26. That's not the greatest. But I guess the team as a whole didn't really perform as they should have, to be honest. And on the Pittsburgh Penguins side, John Marino's played 81 games, so almost basically a full season. 1 goal, 24 assists, 25 points, plus minus of one. So they're getting more experience, quote unquote, because like he's a little older. He's been in the league slightly longer. But I really I don't see why the Devils would part ways with a player like this. Sure, there's a lot of cap space, but I feel like they could have maybe moved other players instead of Ty Smith. But maybe there was a little thing of him maybe wanting to leave too. Who knows the situation, but I think this is a clear win for the Pittsburgh Penguins, especially that they should be getting younger to begin with. I don't see why they signed a lot of the guys that they should have this offseason. So I guess this is like a clear direction of they're trying to mix veterans with some potential younger guys, and he'll be learning from Chris Letang and John Marino. Listen, he's a pretty decent defenseman too, and he's gonna fit as a great piece for the Devils as well.
And looking at the top four defensive core for Pittsburgh, I'm loving it. You have Dumoulin and Latang as one pairing, and Ty Smith with Marcus Pedersen. So that's the top four. Expect Ty Smith to play a second power play unit and obviously second line minutes in that pairing. In terms of John Marino, the defense situation is a little bit tricky there. You have Dougie Hamilton already, and you have Severson. So John Marino, does he potentially fit in the top four, or does he fit in a third pairing role? In my opinion, I do think that John Marino does play in the top four, um, and expect him to play second unit power play minutes as well, because you have Jay Gunzel on the power play of the Pittsburgh Penguins playing at the point, and you have Jack Hughes playing at the point of the power play, the first power play for the New Jersey Devils. So I see Ty Smith and John Marino playing second unit power play minutes on their new teams.
You also
Um,
got Simon Nemec also, right, on the Devils.
yeah,
Just came
yes,
in,
Simon
so
Nemec as
he
well.
might he
So
well most likely he's playing, right, top 2 draft pick for sure, going to be playing in the NHL. Listen, I think I don't think the Devils are necessarily done with the moves. Out of the defensemen here, I could potentially see maybe Ryan Graves leaving because
I
he's
mean, they just added him.
expiring. Yeah, but he has an expiring contract, and so does Severson. So I think, you know, one of them might be going out. Also,
I
because
would
they
say
they
they
are
get
older too,
traded.
right? So
Yeah, I mean, I do agree to a certain extent. I think Graves and Severson only get moved at the deadline if the New Jersey Devils are not in a playoff spot. Then I would, consider them being on the move, and Nemec and Marino would obviously play a lot more minutes, and obviously Dougie Hamilton stays. In terms of, you were saying Nemec, and I think he would be playing a third pairing role. Obviously, he needs to gain NHL experience. So, New Jersey's creating a stronger blue line, and in terms of the Pittsburgh Penguins, it seems like they're slowly preparing for Letang's departure once his contract is done. Ty Smith, if I'm not mistaken, is 23 years old. Is that correct?
Ty Smith is 23,
Okay,
correct?
yeah. So I mean, he's a two-way defenseman. He's capable of playing
He's
offensively
well,
and
he's
defensively.
22, going to be 23. But to be honest, I don't know about the whole preparing for Latang's departure because by the time Latang leaves, this guy's going to be like 26 years old. So, I mean, it's to a certain extent he's going to be replacing Latang.
He
I
has a lot
mean,
of upside. That's the good thing about Ty Smith. There's
yeah,
still a lot to desire with him. There's high potential, there's a high ceiling. In terms of John Marino, on the other hand, we kind of know what to expect from him.
but and it kind of confuses the Pittsburgh Penguins. Kind of confuse me. I mean, Malkin for 6.1 million. I mean that in my opinion, could have been spent elsewhere. Kasperi Kapanen still didn't get re-signed, and he's young, 25 years old, and he's a pretty decent forward. I mean, a lot of people kind of like say he's all right, but I think he shows some flashes of great talent, and I think he's really
He's
good for.
inconsistent. That's his problem, and I
Yeah,
think he
well,
will be on the move from Pittsburgh. That's my
and
opinion.
like there's like Jeff Carter's there, 37, 3.1 million. I mean, yeah, he's good, but I mean,
Yeah, he's up
there's
there.
a lot of. I mean, he's got 2 years left, so it's not that bad. But you got like Ricard Raquel, 29 years old, getting paid $5 million
There's
until
definitely a lot of older
2028.
guys.
You
They're in
know,
a win now, window right
Brian
now.
Rust. Yeah, but the win now window is closing, and it's closing, and it's like I don't even. I think it's completely closed, to be honest. I don't see the Pittsburgh Penguins even making the Stanley Cup. Uh, so
I
I'd
mean,
s-
I don't see them going to the Stanley Cup, but I do see them making a playoff run, or at least
yeah.
make the playoffs. I think they're good enough to make the playoffs. Obviously, until Letang, Malkin, and Crosby are on that team, expect them to compete for the playoffs every year. Um, in terms of New Jersey acquiring Marino, I think it's because they're trying to win now. They see the Metropolitan, they see the Atlantic. The East is getting stronger, right? It's becoming more competitive. And they have a lot of cap space, but the main goal for New Jersey right now is to sign Jesper Bratt, who had a career year and passed 70 points. That is their main goal. They had a good draft. This is a good trade for them as well. I don't see either side having a complete steal. Maybe Pittsburgh is in favor of winning this deal because Ty Smith has more potential and they do get a 2023 third round pick. But I think that's just insurance just in case they don't resign Ty Smith after this season. So I think that's what's going on there. And in terms of Marino, he's a more established defenseman, but they're both two great defensemen, in my opinion. I like to trade for both sides. I understand why the trade happened, but we would like to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And we're talking to the New Jersey Devil fans and the Pittsburgh Penguin fans. Who won this deal? Is this deal a fair deal or is it one sided? And we also would like to hear what other moves would you like to see the New Jersey Devils and Pittsburgh Penguins make? So I don't know if you have anything else to add, Chris, apart from that.
No, I mean we pretty much covered it all. Listen, I think it's a clear win for Pittsburgh on this one. I mean,
I
they
think it's a
get they
fair deal.
really plus the third round pick. I think
It all depends
they're gonna end up
on
resigning him.
Ty
They'll make
Smith's
space.
progression. In terms
So
of Ty Smith's progression as a player, as of right now, I think it's a fair deal. But if Ty Smith becomes a bona fide top four defenseman and he reaches that plateau that everyone's expecting him to reach, I do think that Pittsburgh will indefinitely win this deal long term. But in terms of right now, short term, I do think it's a fair deal. Um, And yeah, that's it, guys. So don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and also share this to any New Jersey Devil fans and Pittsburgh Penguin fans. I do believe that this is not the end in terms of big trades. We've seen a couple go down in terms of Brett Burns being traded to Carolina, Max Pacioretty getting traded to Carolina, Kirby Doc to Montreal, Romanov to the Islanders, Vanacek to New Jersey, and the list goes on. This year is a big year in terms of trades, especially this offseason, and there's more to look forward to. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Young Guns podcast. Thank you so much, guys.